Hello everyone and welcome to Oslo, Norway, and specifically Oslo Central Station, where today we're taking the F4 train to Bergen. Today it's Saturday, it's 10:45 a.m. and it's about an hour before our train departs. So we've got a bit of time to kill, so let me show you around Oslo Central Station. Today's train journey from Oslo to Bergen is about 7.5 hours. We aren't stopping and going to Flåm. This is the direct from Oslo to Bergen. So it's nice that there are a lot of different shops in here, places you can get some snacks, some food, some coffee, and really stock up. And as you can see here, we're walking into the Great Hall, where all the departures are. And again, I'm way early, so we have a ton of time to kill here in the station, but wanted to have the opportunity to check it out, and I'm eyeing that spot over there in the top right. There are a ton of ticket kiosks within the station, but it is summer in Norway, which means that it is very difficult, and most trains are sold out during this period of time. So while they're here, I highly recommend you buy them via the Vi app. It's spelled VY, and you get them well ahead of time to make sure you get the route and schedule that you need. In any case, let's head up here and see what there is to check out. Surprisingly, this cafe/restaurant up here was pretty dead, which meant there were a ton of open seats. But you do get some pretty great views up here of the train station, which are definitely worth checking out and grabbing a coffee over. It also allowed us to see our track, which was right here. One small little caveat, there are restrooms here in the train station, but you do have to pay to use them. In any case, it's almost departure time, so we're going to go ahead and head downstairs and start heading over to our train. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it is summer in Norway, and this train is sold out, as are most of them. So it's always important that you grab your ticket early, and again, it's fairly easy to do on the Vi app. Maybe 20 minutes before departure, I got a notification in the Vi app that the train was going to be slightly delayed, but there wasn't really an ETA. So we kind of all just sat on the track here and waited. Now again, the app is pretty nice. You can see here it gives us some updates on the departure time, although it just kept slipping, so it wasn't super reliable about the time it was leaving, despite it kind of showing a ETA of departure. It kept just saying that the train was being prepared. So while the app is nicely designed, it gives you a lot of different information about your routes and stops. The one thing it did lack is just some proactiveness about when the train was actually going to arrive. But it's no big deal. It's summer travel, delays are to be expected, and not everything is always in everybody's control. But it is one thing to keep in mind, just as you are kind of planning your trip, that delays can happen. So just remember that when you're planning anything that's at the end of your train journey here today. But with that, the train did start to arrive with some applause from the platform. In any case, let's go ahead and get on board. Now, I'm not sure if it's because the train was delayed and everybody was antsy, but it was hectic getting on board. But in any case, we did end up getting to our seat. It was nothing crazy, but it did have a bit of a footrest here, and it also had quite a bit of legroom, which I'm always happy about. And as I always do, I struggle to open the tray table with just one hand, but alas, I get it open. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. You also have some power outlets between the seats, and there was plenty of luggage storage both above the seats and in the front and the back of the cars, which is always nice. here I was just testing out the new magnetic mount I got, and we're ready to go. And almost 60 minutes past the scheduled departure, we start to roll out of the Oslo station. Now, I don't know if this is typical or not, but I thought it was kind of cool that one of the ticket validation techniques was a photo instead of a QR code. In any case, we are rolling right outside the outskirts of Oslo, and we can also track that here on our map within the app, which is kind of nice when you don't really know where you are, and you can kind of see where you are on the overall journey. Starting to explore the train a bit, there are these really nice big windows in between the cars that you can stop and look out of. But we're going to go ahead and check out a little bit more of the train here. You can see in the middle that they have these nice little recycling/trash cans. And in the back, we're going to go ahead and check out the restroom. Again, nothing fancy here about what you would expect on a train. Here is a little video too of that luggage storage just located in the back of the train. So again, you do have quite a bit of space to put your bags, but let's go ahead and sit back down and just watch some of the stations roll on by. A couple hours into the train journey, thought it made sense to go ahead and check out that Kafe car. The line for the Kafe car was fairly long at any given time, but it went by pretty quickly. And you also had these neat little kind of seats that you could sit in and watch out the windows as you waited. Kafe had a little bit of everything. Everything from yogurt to pizza to croissants, anything you could think of. There was a cooler with drinks, sandwiches, and even a little coffee station where you could make your own fresh coffee. And of course, some quick takeaway items like candy or chips. But I just got a coffee, a water, and decided to sit by the window. Now, we aren't doing the full Norway in a nutshell today. We're doing the ferry, the Voss train, Flom another day. But this train journey straight from Oslo to Bergen is beautiful. The nature doesn't really start to pick up until you're maybe about halfway through the journey, as you can see here, but wow, is it incredible. As we journey through the highest point on this train journey and through the countryside, I'm just going to leave you with a couple videos I grabbed on this journey, so hope you enjoy. As we depart our final stop and are just minutes away from Bergen, it cost us one way for two people about 2,600 Norwegian, which is about $260 US. And this is the Flex refundable fare in plus. Now, we booked these tickets a couple months out, so again, highly recommend you book those tickets well in advance. But for the length of the journey and what we were able to see, I'd say it was well worth it. Thanks for watching today and following along on my journey from Oslo to Bergen. See you soon.